Ladies and gentlemen, Africa is getting a lot of attention these days. Unfortunately, the information our media is feeding us is grotesquely distorted. Well, take Ethiopia, for instance. We've been led to believe that the tragic famine there is due to natural causes and that it can only be overcome through massive infusions of humanitarian aid. Very little has been said about the Ethiopian government's role in all of this until now. Our speaker tonight is Colonel Solomon Belete. Colonel Belete is a native Ethiopian, having lived there since his birth in 1936. When he left Ethiopia in 1977, he had been a colonel in the Ethiopian Armed Forces, a special commando, a weapons training officer, a battalion commander, and a commandant in the Ethiopian Marine Corps. He is a graduate of Haile Selassie University with a degree in geography, and he also graduated from the National Defense Academy in Ethiopia with a degree in military science. Colonel Belete is currently a resident of the United States, and he is active in the Ethiopian resistance effort to liberate his country from the Marxist domination it is now under. His unique perspective will be very valuable in showing us the horrors of life under Marxism. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Colonel Solomon Belete.
First and foremost, I would have to ask your pardon for my accent and my English, because English happens to be my third language. Well, three languages, but English is now my first language. Then my native language becomes automatically second language, and the only person I talk to in my native language is my wife and children. And the third one is the language that I started from primary school to secondary school. That was French, and I don't know what's next, perhaps Russian. I hope not. So you will understand if I have if I couldn't find the right word to say, I'll probably say it in body language, so you will understand what I really wanted to say. And please permit me to express my people's profound and enthusiastic gratitude for your astounding response to their plight. Hundreds and thousands of young children, mothers' life was spared because of your response, of your humanly gift to save life. Tonight I want to speak about a very real tragedy and its root cause that brought about my country and people to the brink of extinction. And that calamity, which still persists, is perhaps less killing of the children, but although the intensity has been reduced and the effect of it has been treated, the cause is still there. So Ethiopia, first of all, I like to most of you to know a little bit about its historical backgrounds and geographical facts. Ethiopia is a nation, is one of the oldest Christian nation on earth. That's what we at least claim to be, because we were Christianized by the Apostle Philip 3 years after Christ, when he met the eunuch of Ethiopia as he was traveling along the Red Sea on his way to India. And he baptized the eunuch, and the eunuch, having invited him to come to his country, Philip came to Ethiopia, taught Christianity, baptized the royal family, and the royal family proclaimed that Christianity shall be the religion of the country, and he built the first church. And then he went back. I say he, I'm referring to Philip, the Apostle Philip. He went back to India and died there. This is the true story that I read, well, the story that I read in my Bible, which is slightly different than the one probably written in English. So we are one of the oldest Christian people on earth. Rome was not yet. St. Peter and St. Paul were still in Thessaloniki, in Greece, and they were shuttling between Crete and those areas, and did not reach Rome when the church was built in Ethiopia. Therefore, I am not biased, or it's not for any other purpose, but I'm telling you the story that I know about Ethiopia, and maybe I'm proud of it, and maybe I might sound a little bit out of my way, but that's the truth. Ethiopia's history goes back to about 5,000 years. The only thing, Ethiopia, we have many holidays, many holidays, but the only holiday that we miss is Independence Day. We don't have any, because we have never been ruled by any foreign power until now. Unlike the countries in its close proximity, Ethiopia is a very unique in its land feature. As this map, drawn by Michelin, the rubber makers, I don't know, they made this map. As you can see, its color is different from the surrounding area. That signifies its altitude from sea level. And the average altitude of the country is 6,000 feet. That is only the average. from where I came, it's about 13 to 15,000 feet above sea level. Although I later on learned that he was a friend of my enemy, and started to my admiration for him has declined. The American great writer Ernest Hemingway, in one of his books, addressed Ethiopia as the island on the sky. That was an appropriate title because it is the only country in the area where that kind of altitude and near permanent temperature is throughout the year. You might wonder that Ethiopia, like some of the Sahara regions, where it is only a sand dune and a brush here and there, but Ethiopia is not so. It is a highland plateau with an average temperature. High is about 65 to 70, low is about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And it is a cool place. You understand why, because of the thin air and of its altitude. It is green most of the year. There are 2 rainy seasons. One big, the big wet season we call it, and there is a small wet season. The other 2 seasons are called dry season. We don't have, like you have here, summer, winter, spring, and autumn. We don't have those. We have wet season and cold season. Dry season. Ethiopia has got a very fertile soil with hundreds and hundreds of all-weather rivers traversing the country, east, west, north, south. Hundreds of rivers, of which you are most familiar with some of them, especially the River Nile. Most of you know human civilization began along the bank of the River Nile. River Nile originates from the heart of Ethiopia, from this lake called Tana. The Blue Nile flows down and goes to Egypt and into Mediterranean. 2 nations exist only on just one river, namely Sudan and Egypt. Ethiopia has over 100 such rivers traversing its land. And the other large river in which the whole nation of Somalia exists is called Wabi Shebele. This river, very large river, big river. They exist in just one river, but Ethiopia has over 100 such types. You can come closely after my address and look for yourself the rivers. And I am not creating that. You can just come and see for yourself. There are over 2 dozens of large lakes, some of which are bigger than the state of Rhode Island. And you can see these rivers, these lakes from a distance. All these blue colors are where the lakes are situated. A country with such stupendous weather and such a prodigal, can anyone believe anybody tells you that Ethiopia or the calamity that has come upon Ethiopian people is the result of drought, no. Drought, as we all know, is a natural or God's act. That's what we believe. Believe what you like, but it is God's act. But it takes a willful act of an evil man to turn the act of God into a calamity. And this is what has taken place in my country. There is no point, or there is no, it is very deceiving, or it is one of those evil act of man to blame that disaster on nature. God has given, as I said, Ethiopia all it is prodigal. There is no nation around us that has been self-sustaining, both in its food production, and our surpluses have gained Ethiopia just before the takeover of this evil power. The treasury of my country was near $2 billion in foreign exchange, which has been squandered and been completely empty long time ago. So nature has got nothing to do with the calamity that we saw. It is some kind of an evil power that has rained its terror on my people. Now, a revolution took place in 1974. That revolution was, in every sense of it, was a popular revolution. The revolution was because the old imperial government of Emperor Haile Selassie could not give the kind of change that was coming into the country. I would rephrase that and explain it again. There was no revolution, the revolution was not meant to overthrow Haile Selassie, but for a change. And the Haile Selassie government was not ready to give the kind of a change that was required. I'll explain that also. Hundreds and thousands of highly trained professionals were coming back from higher institutions of learning in Europe or in other parts of Africa, and mostly from America, from a very high institutions such as MIT, Harvard, Columbia University, and all those famous universities as doctors, engineers, scientists. And Ethiopia was not prepared to use, example, a physicist, a nuclear physicist. We have no use for that kind. But they were coming. with their doctorate degrees. And we had chemical engineers, all sorts of professionals were coming in. And having not been prepared to put these professionals in the right billet, or where they could be of use, there was some kind of dissatisfaction among these professionals and intellectuals. And this dissatisfaction or this frustration grew another frustration among the students in the high school and college. They looked at these highly professional people idly sitting there and doing nothing, and they started to think about their future. And they say, what do we learn for? Okay, this is why I said that the imperial government was not prepared to the kind of exchange that was required, that was necessary. Please understand me, I am not at all, in any way, never even dreamed of the imperial, traditional imperial government to be overthrown, not let alone be an 87-year-old man, very highly respected man, be killed by these sergeants and corporals. Now, that was the case. There was dissatisfaction. Now, in 1973, if you all remember, there was the Arab-Israeli War. As a result of that war, the Arabs used their oil as a weapon to force the Western powers to stop helping Israel. That embargo has shown a tremendous economic recession in the Western industrial powers. It might have not hurt America because America is self-contained and has plenty of oil, but those countries like West Germany, Italy, France, England were really hurt. There was that was a time when all their industry was at a standstill. I remember those years that all automobiles were just what do you call? They were rusting. And I've seen many Europeans go back to their old bogies. That was a rough time, really. That was the time of the world situation. And what did this effect got to do with us? Tremendous effect, because most of our industrial and most of our